Good morning, it's Tim Wild. I'm inside today for my Friday Ascension update because this is actually my second attempt at recording, and the first one resulted in me wiping my nose about 5 times, so I thought I'd actually come inside and do it, because rather than it's just simply not the done thing, is it? Sit there wiping your nose. So I want to talk a little bit this morning about choices, okay? Because I'm receiving a lot of righteously very concerned messages and emails from souls who are very worried about friends, family members, colleagues, partners, and some older children as well, who are making decisions about a certain medical procedure at the moment. Now, as you know, if you've watched my videos previously, I don't tend to use trigger words, the ones that the algorithms and those who watch social media will pick up on, but it begins with V. Okay, so there's the biggest clue that you're going to get. And so with all of this kind of global rollout of this medical intervention, and very, very divided camps about what it is, what it's actually for, whether it should be taken or not. What I'm going to do is just kind of basically give you how I'm feeling about it and what my personal opinions are. For me personally, and for my family, it's a no-no. Okay, and I said that right from the very start. It's not something that we are participating in. But that is, I'm also blessed on that side, is the majority of my camp, underneath my roof, also share that, and that's not because I've forced my opinions or anything like that. It's simply because it's for a lot of us, it's what we'd call a natural gut instinct. It's either something that you are feeling very inclined to participate in, or it's something which immediately you are presented with the information and the circumstances, all the red flags fly up. So what do we do about those of us around us who are opting, probably mostly out of fear and other sources of information that have come via the media, who are choosing to do this? Now, one thing that I've been looking into the energy of is the actual physical effects and the power that this procedure has over an individual. And the one thing that I think is important to highlight is that for many of us, it's a make or break for the ascension process. Now, I personally don't think that is what this is designed to do, or it's the effect that it has. Because if you look at it from the point of view that if you hand that much power over to, say, allopathic medicine, or the effects of all the kind of the inconsistencies of the human body, that again, that's just simply handing your power away. I don't think that anything on a physical level in the realm that we are currently existing in will have the power to stop the ascension process in any way, shape or form. In fact, the actual thought or the concept of something being designed and put on this planet to stop the ascension process, and the power that and the impetus and the organisation behind it, is almost laughable if you think about it from a higher perspective. There is nothing that is going to stop this ascension process. It's happening. It's rolling out before our very eyes, although the chaos at the moment would be a good indicator that for a lot of people that it's not occurring. I've never felt this way. I've always been told right from the very start that there would be a very intensive period of chaotic changeover. Change is chaotic. If people aren't ready to change, then in many circumstances there will be chaos as they are pushed through that change doorway. So back to the original kind of concept of those of you that are worried about the members, your loved ones that are choosing to do this. In this instance, and in many other instances, we are as it's unfortunate to a certain degree, as spiritual souls on the ascension pathway, with the level of responsibility that we have in the agreements that we've made, our hands are tied, and they're tied in a manner which there is no save and no rescue, basically, where we are. I know for a lot of us that is an extremely difficult concept to swallow, because we are naturally, by our very instincts, we want to assist, we want to help, we want to make the world a better place. We want to reach out and pull somebody out of a difficult situation and place them somewhere where it is sunny and the grass is green. But that is not how lessons are learned. That is not how the evolution of consciousness and the soul is progressing at the moment. There are still quite a few people that are existing on this planet that need to step through a certain gateway in order to learn the lessons, or learn or dissolve that veil of illusion that is still it's almost like a phantom veil of illusion that is still in place, that is stopping or preventing people from seeing what the actual reality of it is. So where we are at the moment, we've got again, it's 3D, 5D, Mars and Venus. And there's two very different camps of consciousness, and quite often we have those different camps of consciousness existing under our own roofs, and it's extremely tricky to navigate. But this is what we've incarnated for. This is what makes us so good at our jobs. This is why we have been trained for lifetime after lifetime to actually deal with what is being presented with us at the moment. So, what can we do? It's the old, I don't know whether it's just an English term, but it's the old saying, you can take a horse to water, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink that water. So you can put information out, you can speak your truth, you can plant seeds, you can make things as obvious as they possibly can be, but you simply cannot change somebody's mind. You can't do somebody's ascension process for them. At some point, you have to simply stand back and say, well, this is your decision. This is your choice, regardless of how close to home that might be. That is kind of where we are with it at the moment. And for some of us, it might be one of the biggest tests that we step through at the moment, is actually allowing people to do this or not. It's if you think about it on a personal level, it's not like we really have an awful lot of choice. You can't simply change somebody's mind by shouting at them, by speaking to them. We live in an age now where we are completely spoilt for information. If you go onto the internet, the great interweb of things, there is an abundance of information, but what information you tune into, what information that people choose to ingest, again, is down to personal choice. There is information which resonates with the truth, and there is information which doesn't, and they are both in equal quantities. The information, in my opinion, that does not resonate with the truth is usually the one that is the most easily accessible. It comes through the TV, it's in the newspapers, it's in, you only have to flick through Facebook and it's kind of blaring out. It's generally speaking, if the media is telling you to do something, then usually you should sit back and actually question, well, why should I do that? What do they want to gain from it? So all you can do is be you. Okay, hold your light as high as possible, speak your truth, give the information out. But as soon as this conferring of information turns into a conflict, that is the time to step back, because you can do no more. Okay, now this again is a very similar scenario to the days, and I remember them well. I actually had the memory come back to me in 2014, the final days of Atlantis, where the masses were in the thrall of this kind of lower frequency energy. They were just like, give us more, we want to party, we want to have a good time. All the distractions were there, kind of, and that was the energy, whilst the high priests and the priestesses and the initiates and all of the souls that were working for the light, who knew that the fall was coming were shouting from the rooftops. We were on our pedestals speaking, like, pleading with the masses to listen to us, because if they didn't change their methods of behaviour, that Atlantis was going to sink, and they didn't listen. That's simply what we're doing, is seeing a recreation of that blueprint that's played 10,000 years down the line. But this time things are very different, because Atlantis isn't falling, our planet is ascending. So what we are seeing is we're seeing the release of this blueprint. We're seeing it's being returned back to source. Its source has learnt what it needs to learn from the passage through 3D. And those of us that are choosing to step through the Ascension Gateway are doing so. And nothing is going to prevent that, okay? It's there's been so many questions over the year. Can this be halted? Can it be stopped? Can the baddies, I call them the baddies, the villains, or the show villains, stop this planet from ascending? And it's not going to happen in any way, shape, or form. So, for those of you that are investing a lot of stress or a lot of concern in this situation, all I can advise you to do at the moment is simply give your opinion, speak your truth, plant the seeds, make sure that the information that you have, if you have it, is available, but step back, okay? In order for us to move through the phase that we're in at the moment into the next phase, people have to have learnt a certain aspect or a certain lesson that is being presented at the moment. And whereas the majority of us have already got this concept, we've already learnt it, those of us that are still working through this, it's funny, I was thinking about it recently, I was thinking about it last week. And it's almost like the release that is going on, or the blueprint that's being presented at the moment, as well as the release of the fall of Atlantis, which has been going on for some time, is the alchemization or the dissolving of the concept of religious belief. Now, to me, a religious belief is a dogmatic belief in a system that is technically unproven. It's pages in a book, it's writings, it's his story, history, that's being presented by a soul or a group of souls that are saying, this is the truth, this is the way. You believe this, you believe nothing else, you believe our concept, our way of thinking. But they've got no real evidence to back it up. And if you look for that evidence, the trail kind of peters off into kind of places that can't really be explained correctly. And that's kind of what's going on. It's almost like 3D science has become the religion of the modern day. Okay, so what's going on at the moment is this huge kind of release or dissolving of a belief system or a dogmatic attitude to, just taking on board anything that's presented at you from a mainstream source and as far as they're concerned, that's the gospel truth. That needs to be released, that needs to be worked through, and that can't be taken away from the people that are choosing to navigate it at the moment in time. I don't think, if I'm honest, that it's going to be going on for a huge amount of time longer. If those of you that have been following me for a while, you remember that in 2019, when was it? It was the Lionsgate 2019. Merlin and the higher forces activated what we call the storm layer around the planet. And I was told that was going to run for 3 seasons. Well, by this August, we're going to be moving into the last year or the last season or the cycle of the storm layer. And I was told from this August onwards that it was going to be starting to wind down. So yeah, we've got another 8 months or another 7 months of intensive clearing where people are going to be releasing their blueprints. We're here to assist and guide that process. We're not victims of it. We're here to usher it in. We're here to anchor the light. We're here to call the shots and make sure that it is guided in the correct direction. And the transition from one state of consciousness to another occurs naturally, smoothly, fluidly, without kind of, the drama and explosions that can kind of occur on the way. But of course, this is planet Earth, and you never know what you're going to get or what's going to kind of be on the table, really. So just these are my musings, these are my thoughts for the end of this week. And like I said previously, I've actually taken considerable steps to move back from the kind of the energy of the field. It's more important that you and I and the other souls on this particular aspect of the pathway are holding the light as high and as bright as possible, so there is a very solid high frequency platform for people to make these realizations in. And healing is available. If you're concerned about people's well-being at the moment, how they're going to be faring in the future if they do interact with this medical intervention, then nothing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the kind of, it's quite a intensive theory out there that, once taken, there's no going back. That's not how the human body works, and it's not how. There's nothing within us physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually that is unfixable. Okay, that just doesn't occur. The human body and the soul that we are incarnate as is the most magnificent. It is the most magnificent thing, and we are only tapping into a very, very small fraction of the power that we have over ourselves and the environment around us. So this is something that we've got to learn. This is going to be rolling out. And keep your light high, your frequency clear, your manifestation sharp. And I don't mean this from a selfish point of view, but be very highly aware of your own processes at the moment. Instead of worrying about what everybody else is doing, keep yourself in centre, because that is the greatest gift that you can give to everyone and everything around you. Excuse me. If you're shining as high and as brightly as possible, every single other person around you will have the opportunity to rise to that frequency. If you're scattered, if you're worried, if you're ungrounded, if you're taking on other people's fear, or if you're worrying about situations, that's when power begins to dissipate, and it gets replaced by the old 3D blueprint that is constantly trying to sort of hook us back in again. So I hope I've made sense this morning, and because this is very much what we are all being presented with at the moment. It doesn't matter where you are, what country and what walk of life you are taking. This will be within your sphere of reality. It's absolutely everywhere. It's a global thing. So just allow yourself to stay in your light, in your power, as much as possible. And when the occasions arise, present the information. If you don't know what that information is, then it can easily be found on the internet. But generally speaking, Google's not the way to go with that. And yeah, it's simply a case of allowing the situation at the moment to flower and develop as it is intended to. In a lot of cases, people are, and this has been me on occasions as well, has attempted to intervene energetically because we don't like the way it's going. We're finding it it's right, okay, this looks threatening, the future of this does not look good. In actual fact, it's when that happens, I myself, I've fallen off the wagon slightly and begun to mistrust the plan. The plan is solid, okay? The transition from 3D to 5D is solid. There are no deviations from that. That is happening, whether it doesn't matter what's occurring. The planet is ascending, and we are all stepping through with it, and nothing can prevent that. It doesn't matter how hard they try, how villainous or devious they become. It's just simply fireworks that aren't going to be. You can light, like I said previously, you can light the fuse on them, and they can fizzle and they can bang, but they will never be the explosive display they were intended to be. So I hope you all have a beautiful end to the week. I hope you have a lovely weekend. We've got a full moon in Leo today, which that always works like a charm for me. Most of my planets and my sun sign is a Leo. So, and Mercury retrograde starts tomorrow. I know, like most people, like be howls and sort of, oh no, it's another retrograde sort of thing. But I quite like retrogrades. I think they're good because everything slows down. The mechanical workings that aren't working properly get revealed, and it's just a good time to review everything that might not be working properly. I know we've had plenty of time, particularly in 2020, to review things. It's just seemed like the majority of time during 2020 there was a clutch of planets, big planets in retrograde. Well, this is the first Mercury retrograde of this year. We've got 3 weeks of it. And so review, regenerate, recuperate, hold your light high, and just watch the fun as it all rolls out. Sending you loads of love. Hope you have a beautiful end to the week. See you soon. Bye for now.